welcome to this very special video. Oh my god, I just got obliterated by a fire engine. This is a video that's in light of a recent announcement today by Rockstar Games of the extended release date for GTA 5 PC release, and also the fact that the game is supposedly, somehow, of 65 gigabytes in size. And I've brought Istin with me because he has played the console version, the PS4, free version,
the PS3,
and he knows stuff. So I'll put it over to you whilst I fight the police. I just died. So
well, I wanted to talk about some problems with the original release of GTA 5. Just to put it into perspective why Rockstar can't really be trusted when it comes to promises and features that they promise and stuff like that. So, as almost everyone knows, GTA 5 released almost a year and a half ago on PS3 and Xbox 360. I played it on PS3 like a good little fanboy. I bought it on first day for a good 40 quid or something. And I even downloaded the retarded companion app on my girlfriend's iPhone.
What's
and I
that?
even, yeah, it's feeding the dog and shit, you know. It's
Nice.
like, oh, feed the dog so he can level up.
That's like a
Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi.
It's a terrible companion app. It's fucking horrible. It has some funny features, like fucking other girl dogs and stuff like that, but aside from that, it was just a terrible gimmick.
Fucking oh my god.
Seriously, one of the portions is, I think, biting off people's balls,
Brilliant.
and the other one is like chasing girls and dogs to fuck. I'm not joking. So, whatever.
There we
Point is, I
go.
bought it on day one. But us just weeks prior to release, we learned that GTA 5 Online will not be available on launch, but 2 weeks later. And I was like, well, okay, I sort of get it, but why 2 weeks? 2 weeks is way too long. I mean, any fans will complete the game within a week, no matter how long the game is. And guess what? I completed 100% of the game. Well, the unofficial 100%, which is the achievement or whatever. I completed that in less than a week. In 4 days, in fact. And yes, it was 2 weekend days and 1 day off, but it was still not that much time. And for 2 weeks, I didn't have too much to do. And just anticipated the launch of the online, just like everyone else. So GTA 5 had 2 weeks to prepare for GTA Online. Of course, it's hard to prepare for something like, I think on release it was 12 million players who were waiting for online to come on, right?
Jesus, alright.
So when finally the release date came, just like all major online releases, it was shit. It was complete and utter crap. In their defense, 12 million players trying to play on the servers is, yes, it's horrible. At average, I would say that 8 million players would probably be online at that time. Of course, people were outraged. For days, you could not get online. And even if you got online, staying online was almost impossible. And even if you stayed online and created an online character, which I remind you, the intro section took about an hour before you actually get to be properly online and not in the tutorial zone, you would have to create it and hope that it doesn't kick you out, because if it were to kick you out, you'd be fucking sure as hell that your character was deleted. Many people suffered single-player game save losses, like their entire single-player save game, which could even be 100% save, you know, hundreds of hours in it, was destroyed because they dared to go online in the first couple of days.
Treachery,
So-
no! Why would you ever go
Yes.
online?
It was very fun, to say the least. And even if you managed to get online, the lobbying and the matchmaking was just terrible. It was a horrible experience for the first weeks. But soon after, in the first weeks, people seemed to realize that, something is missing. And that would be the most important feature that they prominently displayed all over the place, was the heist. And we know that today, a year and a half later, that there is still no heist.
A year
Yes, it is
and
in
a
sight
half
now.
later. Can I just take a
Yes.
moment to digest?
Not long ago, they released a trailer that said, yes, heist is coming. And to take the piss out of the fans, one of the lines in the heist trailer was, "I know you've been waiting and complaining a lot, but believe me, it was worth the wait," which is speaking to the audience, which is a big fuck you to the audience, saying, "Oh yeah, we promised it on day one, and the back of the box describes it as a feature in the game. We pulled it out and delayed it by years." And I tell you right now, why exactly did they pull out the heists? If you went online, you soon realized that the online economy and the single player economy was entirely different. In single player, by the end of the game, you earn a couple millions. Each character will have a couple of millions of dollars at hand. But as soon as you went online, and as soon as you entered any clothing shops, not clothing shops, you would see shirts, plain white shirts, that are like Primark quality or Chinese quality. You would see those for $6,000 to $10,000 each. So,
Legit.
which was interesting because instead of making jobs pay a lot less, like pity jobs, like steal a little bit of coke, instead of making those missions pay a lot less money or make the missions harder to complete, instead they incredibly topped up the prices. Cars cost millions, which, yeah, you can say it's alright and stuff like that, but for customization options, it would cost a lot of money to even go to the hospital, or to get a new haircut would cost $20,000. And guess what? By taking out the heist and putting in microtransactions, which was real money to fake money,
Nice.
wow, what a surprise!
Classy.
An economy that demands you to spend a lot of in-game cash, and it's hard to get the in-game cash, and the only easy way to get it was taken out. Instead of patching online issues, one of the first patches was reducing the money in that mission,
Glad
which
they
was a
got their
silent patch.
priorities
Yeah,
straight.
priorities, right? It was a silent patch. What that means is that you didn't get patch notes for it, and it wasn't a big release. Between two times going online, you would be silently patched, and the mission rewards would be changed. And people were pissed, and they never revealed any data on how much real money people spent in the fucking microtransaction shop.
Shocking.
So soon after they announced that, oh yeah, because of all the issues in GTA Online, we are going to give you each $2 million.
Oh, thanks, Rockstar. Love you.
And which was heavily needed, because houses were costing from around 800,000 up to, I think, 6 million and stuff like that.
Christ
So
alive.
people were already like making plans of spending it and whatnot. But it was bad. It was too little too late, and it was, I think, 2 months after release, or a month and a half after online's release. It was bad. So all of this is just to put in perspective how PS3's launch of GTA 5, which was already delayed, by the way. What a surprise,
Wow,
right?
that's-
And
yeah.
online was delayed even further. What a surprise.
Shocking.
Features were missing. What a fucking big surprise. And microtransactions were put in, which
As
is,
a top priority.
interestingly, people didn't moan about it as much as they should have.
Hmm.
Because the economy of the game, like any Total Biscuit or anyone else would explain you, that when you have microtransactions in the game, you can trust the developer of being the original vision. You know that the publisher wanted microtransactions to be used, therefore the economy of any game with microtransactions in it will 99.9% will be altered from the original idea. So, to have an incentive. So you spend the fucking things in game, right? So they delayed it, they delayed online, they took out features, they focused on stupid shit like this. And then everyone was wondering, when is the PC release gonna come? PC release, PC release, PC release. Well, nothing. People were making theories up left and right, you know, oh yeah, it's gonna come, it's gonna come. It's gonna come this date, it's gonna come this date, it's gonna come this date. Pushing it on and on. New consoles release. Fucking next-gen consoles release. And of course people ask, is it gonna be next gen? They say, no. We have no plans. We have no plans for PC,
Yeah.
no plans for anything.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what they said from
So-
day one, you know, when they were
Yes.
asked, you know, is there
So,
going to be PC release?
a year-
no,
exactly
wait.
a year and 2 months after the PS3 and Xbox release, the PS4 and Xbox One release comes out. Exactly a year and 2 months and 1 day later. And they added one big new feature, which I will admit is really cool. First-person mode for the whole game.
Yeah.
It was implemented well. I played the PS4 version. I didn't play it all the way. I only had a few hours on it. It was really exciting, really good. But it was not something that would warrant a whole fucking year of waiting.
Yeah.
Yes, they upped some tiny bit of graphics, but they didn't fix incredibly obvious problems with both online and single player. Things were still as problematic as before. And the funny part is, because they increased the amount of NPCs available on PS4, it had the backlash effect, which means there are a lot more accidents on the road, because there's more AI on the road, but they didn't change the percentage of them fucking up. Because I don't know how much you guys know about it, but an AI will behave optimally all the time unless you set it like a fuck up variant. I'm gonna call it that. And in GTA, there's always the fuck up variant, where they will make mistakes on the road that will cause those funny accidents that we all love in GTA.
Yeah.
There's nothing funnier than two cars collide, a grandma gets out and batters a guy's head in, you know, stuff like this. That's what's the beauty of it.
That's the real magic.
That's why we love
of
GTA, and that's why, because it simulates sort of a satirical world, and it has the NPCs roaming around, and they have the same rules apply to them. So if they kill someone, the police will come after them, and stuff like this. This is all fun and games, but because they increased the amount of NPCs on the road, catastrophical fucking collisions happen all the time. That's like, nobody thought about this. It's like, oh yeah, we can up the number of NPCs. Yeah, that's great. Have you thought about what effects will that have on your gameplay? Nope. With that, they announced that the game will release January 27 on PC. Yay!
Oh,
everyone!
Yay!
Finally!
Hooray!
Even though there's 2 whole months, actually 3 months, almost 3 months delay between the next gen versions and the PC version, everyone's happy. Yes! Finally we're getting what's due, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna have even better frame rate than PS4 and whatnot. And just now, just today, literally an hour ago,
Yep.
Rockstar announces that the game will not release till late March, and it will be 65 gigabytes hard space.
I'm sorry,
Which-
what?
Let's think about this a second, right? The best PC releases that are PC focused, like Witcher and stuff like that, or let's just say Dragon Age. Dragon Age Inquisition came out recently, and it features a game that has hundreds upon hundreds of hours of content in it. It has a surprising amount of variety. It's one of the best Western RPGs in the last 5 years, I would say so. And that game was 27 gigabytes. Very high level textures, very nice everywhere, there's not much problems with it, you know. 27 gigabytes. GTA 5 on consoles would be around the same, 30 gigabytes.
Yeah.
And that has extremely sharp textures and whatnot, you know. But for some unfucking understandable reason, GTA 5 will be 65 gigabytes minimum on PC.
Let's put this into perspective. Now, I have, as everyone knows who watches my stuff, I have a really shitty internet. Now, to download 65 gigabytes would literally take me 3 whole days. I'm not talking about daytime, I'm talking days. Literally.
25 hours, yeah.
25? 24.
24. Whatever.
24-hour days to
Alright.
download.
Okay.
Which is... I don't even understand how that's physically possible.
Okay, so let's put it into another perspective. I have a decent internet, which is the most common here in the UK, and the UK doesn't have bad internet. America has terrible internet. Americans will always complain that they have horrible internet with internet caps, you know, download caps. So I can't wait for people who I know for a fact that they have like 50 gigabyte caps to wonder what the fuck they're gonna do, because it runs out in one day, their whole month usage and stuff like that. You know, it's ridiculous. So put it into perspective all the other PC games that are PC focused, extremely high resolution textures, even with texture packs and stuff like that, I do not understand why is it 65 gigabytes.
Yeah,
I cannot fathom why.
What are they doing? How? I can't even comprehend just
And the thing is,
how much stuff they have to put in for it to be 65 gigabytes.
the one positive note is that the difference between minimal and recommended settings is a huge gap, which usually means that you can dumb down and ugly down the game so it runs on shit systems, which it better fucking will, because while the graphics have been updated, the game systems, as in the actual logic, which is, believe it or not, most of the times, most games take more logic and gameplay calculating than graphical ones. So if it won't run on shit PCs, on lower graphical settings, if it don't run well, it's a bad port. It's a really bad port.
Yeah.
But to just remind everyone, GTA 4 had an interesting PC launch. For months, it was literally unplayable. From things like completely ignoring AMD cards. If I remember, it was AMD cards. Like, if you had an AMD card, even if it was a lot stronger than any of the other equivalent of it in Nvidia, you would be fucked, because memory leaks were non-stop. This would mean that if you start playing the game, it will run 30 frames per second, but after around 10 minutes, it would drop a frame per second every minute.
Wow.
Like, memory leaks are terrible. They are horrible port issues. They are horrible, just coding-wise. It's when the game keeps dumping bullshit and keeps remembering it. And even I, back in the day, that's when I got my 16 gigabyte RAM system, and that filled that fucking RAM so fast. It was horrible. It's borderline unplayable when it released. It took years till it was what it was intended to be. So I do not trust Rockstar. I do not, as much as I love their games, and I have to preface that
Their games
I think
are phenomenal.
yes, after San Andreas, GTA 5 is my favorite, and this just proves once again that we shouldn't trust Rockstar, because even though they make absolutely great games, they are dickheads about it.
Yeah.
They absolutely know that they are in a position of absolute power, where whatever they do, people will still kiss up their asses. I mean,
Yeah.
how many people?
They literally have everyone by the balls.
Yes,
as it
everyone
were.
is eating from their hands, and the thing is, they incentivize you that if you got it on PS3, buy it on PS4 again. If you get it on Xbox, buy it on Xbox One again, or whatever the mix is. And they offer rewards for buying it again, which is nice.
Yeah.
I will have to say it's nice, but at the same time, it's not nice to those who were waiting patiently for the PC release, for example.
I mean,
'Cause
like
those
me,
people get
because
nothing.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I've never owned or bought a console in my life, and you know, I would see like every month or so, you know, Rockstar would release info about GTA 5 on consoles, and then they would say, "Oh, as you've bought our games twice, on different generations, here, why not have some free gifts from us?" Which is basically pandering their customers and saying, "Look, you've bought our games twice, and we're going to reward you so that you will do it in the future." Which I think is absolutely, from my point of view, is, you know, morally wrong and disgusting.
Yep. There's also the things that they were constantly not denying it, but refusing to talk about PC release, because everyone knew it's gonna be a PC release. Everyone fucking knew it. This is not Red Dead Redemption, which I could make another video about how that is not on PC is a sin in itself, because
no,
that's
I
an
completely
IP.
agree. Yeah.
That's an IP that, I mean, they ported L.A. Noire, which is, I love L.A. Noire, but they don't port Red Dead Redemption? Are you fucking kidding me? That game was their best IP.
I would play the
GTA.
shit out of that game if I ever had it.
I mean, and Red Dead Redemption was the primordial soup for GTA Online, and that's why I had hopes for GTA Online, because that one worked well, because it didn't have the same leveling system. I mean, when I was playing GTA Online for the first time, after a day I realized that I still only have a fucking Uzi. I mean, I was running around in free roam, and I didn't have any tools. I could not get access to helicopters aside from the cheapest civilian ones, and even that became a hotspot of idiots because that was the only place to get it.
Yeah.
Because they cut out all those spots where in the single player you would be able to get those helicopters. It's so because they wanted you to buy stuff in game and own stuff in game, but they
The
made
whole
it completely
point-
inconvenient to use it.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
whole point of free roam games, especially ones that are online, for God's sake,
yep.
is that you enjoy the game and don't have to jump through hoops of fire in order to, enjoy the
Yeah.
game. That's the whole point of it.
Not to mention that while Red Dead Redemption Online was good in a concept because it's a wasteland, it's a fucking desert also, so you don't notice as much, but when you enter GTA Online on consoles, even on next gen now, it's a wasteland. The streets are almost empty, and I know why this is, because the more NPCs you have, the more you have to sync with other players. And not to mention, by the way, I just saw a link about when I started talking. One guy linked that just 3 days ago,
Right.
the head of Rockstar was still saying in the forums that it's gonna release on January 27. He reinforced the idea. So what happened in the last 3 days? Suddenly they realized it doesn't run on anything because
Apart
they
from anything,
delayed
it's
it by 3 months.
concerning, isn't it?
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
if 3 days ago, the head of Rockstar says, "Oh yeah, it'll be released on January 27th, no problem," and then 3 days later, he's like, "Actually, we're gonna have to delay it by, in their words, a few weeks." Now, I don't know if you know the word "a few," but "a few" actually means, I think it's 2 to 3. So good job there, Rockstar.
Well, how many
way
weeks
to-
is that exactly? What?
I-
12?
I don't even.
I would,
Ugh.
even if you're generous, I would still put few under 10, right?
And that is being generous. Yeah.
That's being very generous.
That's being very generous.
But it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable the amount of nonsense. And not just that, 2 weeks. It's exactly 2 weeks now, today, before the original planned release. So what happened? And not just that, but now that I think about it, you know how physical games work. That thing that we not use anymore. I mean, most people don't use it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, physical games have to be printed on disc. And there's a date when they go gold. That's the date when they start printing them. And that's usually 2 weeks before. So they
Wow.
were just about to start printing the discs. So they have the 2 weeks to travel around the world and get into each store and put into stock and put on the shelves and stuff like that. They're usually 2 weeks. So just today they were supposed to probably start printing the discs. Also, how many... Wait, what? Wait. What disc would that be? So, how many DVDs that would be? 4?
Oh god, yeah, that's a
Or-
good point actually.
Or 2 Blu-rays. It doesn't fit on 1 Blu-ray. And I know people would definitely say that, oh, but they're gonna make it so it's optimized and shit. But how can you say that when GTA 4 was delayed and it came out a mess, a complete and utter mess?
Yeah. I mean, I've
Absolute
seen a lot
mess.
of comments just since the announcement was made today, but saying, "Oh, you should be grateful that they're spending more time fixing bugs." I was like, "Well, yeah, but stand back here. Are you seriously suggesting that when the game finally releases, whether it's this year or the next 20, who knows, that it's going to be, stable, it'll be perfect, no bugs, but they're seriously suggesting that we should be grateful that they spent another...
No.
I don't understand, to be honest, because...
Especially, let's get this clear. PS4 and Xbox One uses PC architecture. The reason why we get so many Xbox One exclusives, quote-unquote exclusives, coming to the PC literally a month after they released on console is because most people don't understand what it means, but the PS3 basically plagued the console ports to PC because it uses cell processor. Cell processor was an entirely different thing from a normal PC processor. It was a disaster because it never worked out as Sony intended.
Right.
But the point is, PS3 was one of the main reasons why we didn't see good console ports. Because while the Xbox used similar to PC architecture, and it was basically a glorified PC, the PS3 was not. And most games were multi-platform, so they would be... whenever you make a game, you make it for the hardest system first. And that was always the PS3 in this case. The Xbox 360 had... as much as I hate Microsoft, it had less games with big errors. Like Skyrim, for example, is still infested with bugs on PS3. Still. And the reason for that is because it's a very unfamiliar architecture. It took years for people to master it. Now, PS4 and Xbox One uses PC architecture. They are cheap PCs. They are nothing more than cheap fucking PCs, right? With a very deliberately designed and set up operational system and whatnot. It's a glorified PC, both of them. And the reason why we get all the Xbox One exclusives coming out of the gates like a month later, they just announced and it's here, and they are pretty good ports, is because they are easy to port now. So what I don't understand, it's definitely not bug fixing, alright? It's not. It's bullshit. It's not bug fixing because GTA 5 beta was running on Steam. I saw my friend play it multiple times. He said it wasn't working properly, but after a while it started really good. It started to appear on Steam in beta format, like testing, you know, I mean alpha format and beta format, as soon as they announced the fucking next-gen versions. So you know for a fact that they are using the same fucking code. All they are doing right now is optimizing. But I do not trust them to be able to optimize well because of GTA 4.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is, a reasonable comment because of all the problems that they've had with GTA 4.
They know they can get away with it because they make some of the best games and everyone loves it and everyone buys it and they don't give a fuck, and they know that PC gamers and gamers in general have a very short memory.
Yeah.
Whenever you're angry now, in a week, not a week,
as soon as you're
3
playing
months,
it,
when you're playing it, you're gonna forgive them, and down the road, the next time they announce GTA 6, you're gonna fap to it as much as the next guy. You know, you're gonna fucking enjoy it, and you're gonna be screaming at the screen, yeah, fuck yeah.
I mean, I said to you recently, the same thing where. As soon as, GTA 5 comes out on the 27th of January, I'm gonna, as soon as it's launched, I'm gonna do a rant video on it. Because, I wasn't happy about the way the whole thing had been handled. And then, and I said, as soon as I start playing it, I'm not gonna be able to put it down, I'm not gonna be able to stop, and I'm gonna love it, and I'm gonna, kind of bow down to Rockstar as if they're some sort of weird god.
Yes, and that's the thing, they abuse it.
Yeah,
they
know that.
They
know full well that people will be exactly like me, which is why now they've gone too far, and I can't support them anymore. I won't be buying GTA 5.
I really don't like that few weeks comment, for example. It just goes to show that yes, they try to downplay it, they try to smile it up, oh, it's just a few weeks. It would be if it was compared to the original next-gen release. For example, they already have 2.5 months to fix things compared to the next-gen release.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
They
fucking didn't.
They're the kind of arseholes that say, there's people that kind of go, oh, I've been... You say to them, like, I've been working, I've been waiting for something for, 12... I don't know, whatever, 12 days. And then they go, oh, so you won't mind waiting a little bit longer then, will you? They're the kind of arseholes who say that. And I hate those people. They can screw right off as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, it was what? It's gonna be exactly a year and a half. And it's gonna be half year, 6 months after the next gen release almost. Yeah, exactly. It's 6 fucking months after the next gen release. So half a year after the next gen versions, which are completely almost identical to the PC version. And what do they do with it? They made the textures bigger, because that's all I'm seeing on those images. I have to say, there was screenshots released with this information, and all I see is that yes, the textures are really sharp, but the models and animations are still the same.
And again,
I don't see anything.
Notice what Rockstar have done here. Again, they've put up, they've tried to, liaise with their would-be customers and saying, look, I know you've waited a long time, but, you're still going to buy it, so, might as well have your screenshots.
It better run like gold. And guess, I'm pretty sure they're going to announce, with all the moaning now, they're going to announce that, oh, you're going to get a car. All the PC versioners will get a car. Or it's just a joke. It's just a joke.
It's basically bribery, isn't it, really? When you think about it.
Almost.
That's what it is.
And I know, and this is just, and it's not even focusing on the fact that Heist, a back of the box feature, is taken out,
it's still
and it
not
takes
there.
a year and a half to put it back. It's like, why? Who came up with that? I'm pretty sure this is not because of piracy. If anyone would come with that shitty excuse, because it is not. Because even if you pirate it, you only get half the game, and you won't be able to really play what they are focusing on, because they're still releasing content patches. Just now there was the Christmas event where they put snow on the whole island. They did it pretty well and stuff like this. So they want the future, and they were always saying that GTA Online is their focus because they want a new kind of experience. They failed at it, but it's still super fun.
Yeah.
They are not about piracy. Do not tell me that. That's lazy. That's a stupid excuse. Especially when it's going to be 65 gigabytes, and even at the repack, it's going to be 30-something gigabytes. It's easier to buy it on Steam than to fucking pirate it nowadays. So,
who is going to pirate a 65 gigabyte game? I mean, Jesus Christ.
It's going to be, it just tells me that they are just greedy. And that's the thing. And people let them get away with it because, we love Rockstar. I love them as much as anyone else.
Yeah,
One of my favorite game ever, San Andreas, is from them.
Absolutely agree. But now they've gone too far. And I think it's about time that, everyone, or those who wanted to, stood up for their gaming industry, because at the rate things are going, not just with Rockstar, but with other, developers and publishers.
And stop buying games twice, you fucking twats.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Fucking stop
Why?
it.
Why'd you do it? Don't do it. Stop it. Put it down. Put your money away. Put your wallet down. Put it down. We hope, these videos may not do anything at the end of the day, but, we both felt that this was such an important issue that we needed to vent it. We need to, help spread the word, no matter how little it does, It's important. So, as I'm now made my way over to Grove Street, I think that's a great place to end the video, and I would like to end on just a quick thought that when you are, protesting, things like this, it's important to, where possible, keep a cool head. Don't, swear and, rant, do rant actually, ignore that, but don't swear, don't be like an arsehole about it, get your point across, and make sure that what you do makes a difference, and don't be afraid to say what you say.
Ranting is always fine, because most people don't understand, but you can love a product, any kind of media or any kind of product or art or anything, while also pointing out its mistakes.
Yeah.
Don't say it's nitpicking, don't say it's ranting, bitching, moaning. It's not that. You can love something and still know the problems with it.
Yeah.
That's all.
So, I'd like to thank Ist for helping me out with this video, because I couldn't do it alone. And with that, we will see you for the next one, where we rant about DayZ and all its failings. So with that, thank you very much for watching, and spread the word. See you all next time. Come here, Carl.
Come here, Carl.
Bitch. Get out. I'm angry. Piss off!